Hi, welcome to the third mini installment of Ghost Investigator Stories, where I talk about people I've interviewed, perhaps places I've investigated from my Ghost Investigator series, which there are 13 books. So more than enough to keep you busy during these times. So today the story will be from Haverstraw, New York, and I will just dive right in. A couple moved into an old Victorian house on Route 9W. There were strange noises in the attic, but with a house of that age, it didn't seem too unusual. A lot of old houses have noises. A lot of new houses have noises. Then one night, the wife, we'll call her Amy, saw something remarkable in the corner of her bedroom. She emailed me the following account. It was two women, one older than the other, but neither old. The older one had dark hair and the younger one had light hair, not really blonde, but definitely not as dark as the other. I wasn't afraid or intimidated, and I don't even know if they were trying to tell me something. I just really got a nice feeling from them. Sometimes they're not conscious that we are there. They're just appearing, going through whatever it is they're doing, maybe going about what they think is their normal lives to them. And I love this part. My mistake, Amy said, was waking my husband. I could take that and run with it. Who thought I had flipped. He turned on the light, then proclaimed, "There is nothing there." Obviously, if you turn on a light, they're not going to stick around for coffee and cake, which I remember the first time I read that, and I've used it many times since. One of my favorite lines from any witness over the years, obviously these ghosts aren't sticking around for coffee and cake. Would that they could. This happened a few months ago, and I still hear the noises, but I haven't had the honor of any visitors again. I love that attitude. To her, it was an honor for these spirits to appear to her. When I spoke to Amy, she was able to fill in more details. Both women were wearing Victorian-style clothing with high collars and hats. The older woman, about 45 to 50, wore her dark hair up and was dressed in fancier dress. The other woman, perhaps in her late teens and possibly her daughter, she speculated, had blonde hair that hung down in a more of a child's fashion. Both were only visible from the waist up. It's interesting. And appeared to be sitting, looking directly at Amy. Despite asking her husband not to turn on the light, he did, and the two ghostly figures instantly vanished. Since that sighting, there has been some odd behavior from an antique Victorian lamp. Now, we've done two of these, and each one has something to do with an object that might have some energy to it. And this light stands in the living room directly under the spot where the ladies appeared on the second floor bedroom. Find this all the time, that there could be like columns of paranormal activity in a house from the basement right up to the attic. Why is that? Your guess is as good as mine. So let me continue. Even though all of the other lights in the room never even flicker, this lamp will slowly dim and get bright again. Now, you usually need a special bulb for that, a dimming bulb, unless the current to the house is alternating, but none of the other lights were acting that way. Amy's husband claims it's a problem with the lamp's wiring, but this is great. Now, when you have something like this, don't jump to the conclusion, it has to be paranormal. Maybe it's electrical. Maybe it's bad wiring. So they tested the lamp in another socket, and it's okay. It doesn't do that. And any other lamp they put in that same socket, the one where the Victorian lamp was going crazy, that's okay. It's only that lamp in that particular socket. So this is a great little experiment you can do. If some sort of activity is happening and there's an object or a location you can swap out, do it to rule it out and narrow it down. I love that. Great scientific method. Um, okay, so as I said, everything else is fine. It's just that combination. Recently, a skeptical friend of Amy's came to visit. As they sat in the living room, the lamp began its mysterious dimming routine, prompting the friend to ask, "Okay, how are you doing, Matt?" Uh, and Amy said, "Well, you're asking the wrong person because I'm not doing it. Whoever's doing that, you have to ask her or him." So, what is it about this section of the house? Why have these two phantom women reappeared? That's a great question. And do they have a message that they're trying to get across? To me, there doesn't seem to be any urgency to this. It more or less seems like a little visit. Hey, this was our house. Here we are. This is who we were in life. And they seem to be very calm, not even trying to get any sort of message across. Just, we're sitting here like proper Victorian ladies. I don't know what that's like, but thank God I wasn't born back then. So Amy is trying to research the house. In fact, when she went to the county clerk's office, the employee there said, "Oh, you live there in such and such a area. Are you researching the haunted history of your house?" And Amy's like, "Why did you ask me that?" Because she didn't say anything. And the woman said, "So many houses in that particular area, the old part of town, are haunted." So hopefully, some evidence will come through, more appearances of this possible mother and daughter, something in the historical record or some little clue. I always say the nature of the haunting has something to do with the message they're trying to get across, if they are trying to get a message across. So, will Amy be able to sit down and have coffee and cake with her two visitors, or is she the visitor? It would be a great civilized way. It would make my job much easier if I just brought some cake and coffee and sat down with the spirits and talked to them, but that's not going to happen anytime soon. So I hope you enjoyed this story. And if you have any suggestions, good suggestions, please get in touch with me, and we'll see you on another episode. Thank you.